up? What's up? What's up? The deal? What is the deal? Let some of y'all get in here real quick. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So I'm gonna let some of y'all get in here real quick so we can get to talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So we can get some to talk about. Let some of y'all get up in here real quick. Real quick. The deal? What is the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? What's good? What's good? What's good with you, bro? Yo, what's the deal? Make sure you hit that like button when y'all come up in here. Make sure you hit the like button when y'all come up in here. Already, what's good with you, bro? What's good? What's good? Y'all, I know y'all ready. I gotta be ready for week 2, man. You gotta be ready for week. What's up? What's the deal, bro? You gotta be ready for week 2, man. You got to be ready for week 2. We gotta be ready, man. Home opener, Liberty White, Sunday Night Football. Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all, hey, y'all gotta come up in, y'all up in there, man. Y'all gotta be ready to come up in there. Gotta be ready to show up and show out for these old Houston Texans, man. Hey, let everybody know in the league that we not playing. We is not playing. We ain't playing with them. We not playing with y'all. We not playing with y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. Definitely appreciate that. Make sure you hit that like button when you come up in here, man. Make sure you hit that like come up in here. Make sure you hit that like button. What's good with you? What's good with you, bro? What's good with it? What's good with it? What's good? Already. Now, now the Houston Texans, like I said, the Houston Texans Sunday Night Football will host their home opener. Will be against the Chicago Bears Sunday Night Football. We've had a Sunday Night Football game since 2019. I've been hearing people say, "Tom, we've had a primetime game at home since 2019." That's not true. The first time I've been on Sunday Night Football, but we've had two primetime home games. In 2021, Thursday Night Football versus the Panthers. I think week 2 or week 3 versus the Panthers. It was week 3 because it was Davis Mills' first ever career start. Thursday Night Football, the Carolina Panthers, and then 2022. We faced against the Philadelphia Eagles Thursday Night Football home. That's when we broke out the red helmets for the first time. So I've been hearing people say it's the first home primetime game since 2019. Not the case. It's the first Sunday Night Football game since 2019, but not the first home game since 2019. I just wanted to correct that. You know what I'm saying? Just want to correct that. Hey man, hey, shout out to that boy Brian for the super chat love, man. Definitely appreciate that, bro. Bro, thank you. Definitely appreciate that love, man. Appreciate the super chat love, bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. But I want to break down the game. I want to talk about some matchups and things that we'll be able to do. And I also want to talk about some of week 2 as well. I want to also, I'm going to my score prediction, what I think is going to happen in the game. I also want to tell y'all what I think is going to happen throughout the rest of week 2 as well. I'm not going to go to the game as far as like breaking down scores, but I will give you an overview of what I think is going to happen throughout the rest of week 2. But we is going to talk and break down what I feel like is going to happen in this game. Also, reported today, news came out today that the roof will be open against the Chicago Bears Sunday Night Football. I've seen a lot of people excited about that. Honestly, I actually really don't care. That's I get when people be talking like jerseys, and I've heard some of the heads talking about I don't care what we wear as long as we win. I'm like, man, I was excited about these new jerseys. I was happy about the new jerseys. Again, I liked our original jerseys, and I had no reason for us to change them. I actually liked them, but now that we got new jerseys, them jerseys are clean. I was anticipating to see what the jerseys look like. So when people would say that, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Now I kind of understand what they mean because I kind of feel like that with the roof being open. I don't care at all about the roof being open or closed. I really don't. It doesn't. It may never mind. But I've seen a whole bunch of people just extremely excited about this roof being open, and I also see some people say that the Texans not slick. They didn't want to be on the stage and show them holes in the roof from the hurricane. So that could be the case. It could be the case, but what's not the case, I see more people coming in, but the light's not going up. Make sure you're hitting that like button now. Come on, make sure you're hitting the like button. More people than jump, but the likes ain't going up. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting the like button. You're in the stream. Make sure you're hitting the like button, man. Make sure you hit that like button. Definitely appreciate that. But just wanted to drop that out there that the Texans will have the roof open Sunday against Chicago Bears. Sunday Night Football is all going down. Now, I want to talk about some things that happened last week. Now, we talked about this at nauseum, but we're going to talk about it again. Last week against the Indianapolis Colts, the Houston Texans, obviously they won 27. I said 27. I'm sorry, 29-27. Now, C.J. Stroud was 24-32 for 75%, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception, rating of 115.9. Threw 7.3 yards per attempt, which is like right above league average, so it's very good. But he was sacked 4 times in that game. Joe Mixon had 30 carries for 150 yards, 1 touchdown, averaging a 5.3 yards carry. Also was targeted 3 times, caught all 3 passes, had 19 yards, and won AFC Player of the Week. So congratulations to him winning AFC Player of the Week. I actually thought that Josh would have got AFC Player of the Week because he did have 4 touchdowns, 2 in the air and 2 on the ground. Also fumbled. He turned the ball over. He lost the fumble. And obviously when you turn the football over, you open the door for other people to be able to get AFC Player of the Week. So I was surprised that Josh Allen initially didn't get it. And then when I seen that he had a turnover, I was like, he must have had a turnover. Now, when I looked it up, I seen he had a turnover. I'm like, okay, makes all the sense in the world why he didn't get it. Because 4 touchdowns is 4 touchdowns. I don't care how you slice it, getting 4 touchdowns. But you turn the football over, they penalize you a lot when it comes to that. So Joe Mixon actually played the week and played well. Nico Collins targeted 8 times, had 6 catches for 117 yards. Tank Dell targeted 7 times, had 3 catches for 40 yards. Stephon Diggs targeted 6 times for 6 catches for 33 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz targeted 3 times for 3 catches for 19 yards. So that's what the Texans were able to do offensively. They were able to get to twice, able to get an interception as well. Got a fourth down, a couple 4th down stops as well. So, and also they did give a 4th down when they was able to score that last touchdown. But outside the 3 big plays that they gave, the defense really played well. Honestly, out of the 3 50-yard plays that they gave up, the big touchdown, the second touchdown, and then also the 50-yard pass to Alec Pierce. Outside of those plays, the Texas defense actually played well. And it really was extremely boom or bust when it came to the Colts offense and AR, exactly the way they played, especially when they also we don't talk about what actually got them in the game, what kept them in the block punt, because it really gave them a free touchdown. We don't talk about that enough. I haven't heard really talk about that. I've heard a lot of people talk about the 3 50-yard plays, but y'all can't hear me? Y'all can't hear me? Yo, y'all good? But about outside giving up the 3 50-yard plays. So outside of those 50-yard plays, the defense actually played extremely well Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts. So I don't think that um I don't think that the defense is the problem. And looking at what the Chicago did offensively, I don't really think that the Texans really going to have a problem trying to keep this offense at bay, because this is what the Chicago Bears did. So Caleb Williams was 14 of 29, 8.3%, 93 yards, only averaging 3.2 yards per attempt. That is horrible. That's horrible, by the way. Like, you do better running the football than right there. Then he was sacked 2 times with a rating of 55.7. Now, he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't score any touchdowns, but he did ball over. DeAndre Swift carried the ball 10 times for 30 yards, but he had a 20-yard run. So that means the other 9 got him 10 yards. He got 10 yards off of 9 carries because he had 1 carry for 20 yards. Moore was targeted 8 times, had 5 catches for 35 yards. Keenan Allen 11 times for 4 catches for 29 yards. And Roma Dunze had one target. I think it was targeted 4 times. Had 1 catch for 11 yards. And that's really all they were able to do offensively. The reason why the Chicago Bears won that game was because of their defense and special teams, and mostly that Will Levis is just a bad NFL quarterback, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not high on the Tennessee Titans at all. I believe they're going to be the fourth team in this division. I don't believe they're a good football team because of the quarterback. I actually think that without their quarterback, I think they have decent pieces, decent players, but I do think their quarterback is going to hurt them tremendously. It's going to take them out of games because that pick six that he threw what lost them the game. Like, and it was third down. It was third down. You about to get sacked. Take the sack and you better off. It's similar to back in 2013 when Matt Schaub was scrambling back and drifting back, and he threw the pick six to Richard Sherman against the Seattle Seahawks. Game with overtime. Seattle won. The Texans had the lead. If any other play happens outside of a pick, the Texans win the football. And that's kind of the same situation, but it was kind of worse with this because he's just a bad quarterback. And actually, Matt Schaub was trying to throw to Owen Daniels. Matt Schaub was trying to make a play. I don't know what Will Levis was doing, and we're going to get to that in a minute. I just don't think he's a good quarterback. And their defense and their special teams, really, extremely, their special teams, helped them get in the game. They had a block punt, if I'm not mistaken, in that game as well. Their defense played well, and their special teams played extremely well. So, like I said, Texans, well, we haven't talked about a lot this week. We talked about the 3 50-yard plays that AR had, but we haven't talked about the block punt early on in the game. They basically gave the Colts a free touchdown when they gave it to JT was able to run the end zone and get a touchdown. That's something that I do think we need to watch. We need to watch the special teams. Now, Frank Ross is the best coach on this team behind DeMeco Ryans. And I think that he going to have the special teams ready to go after giving up that block punt. I think Ross is going to have the special teams up in arms and is going to have the special teams going ready to play. But we need to keep our eyes out on the special teams because Chicago Bears, part of the reason why they was able to come back and win the game last week was because of their special teams. Offensively, Caleb Williams last week looked like a rookie. And I think the offense is going to be able to get to him. Our defense is able to stop the run. We held JT to under 50 yards. He had 48 yards last week, averaging yards a carry. AR is the only one who had 50 yards last week, and he's a quarterback. He had that one big scramble where I think he got like 25 yards on that when it opened up the middle and he ran it up. I mean, quarterbacks, they're mobile. You can see them gashing you because they're running off script. They're not running in a conventional running way. They're running off script. The defense is backpedaling and things like that because they're expecting the pass or even trying to defend the pass, and the quarterback's able to run, able to gas you and get some yards, especially a good running quarterback. Now, if he's a bad running quarterback, that's different. But if he's a good running quarterback like AR actually is, they're able to gas you and get some yards. So you giving up 50 yards to AR, I'm not sitting back. I know Caleb Williams is athletic himself. And Caleb Williams only had 13 yards last week. 25 yards last week. Caleb Williams able to move out the pocket and run as well. But the way that the offensive line looked, when you go how their offensive line played against Tennessee, it looks very alarming if you're a Chicago Bears fan. And if I was like, it looks very alarming. It looks very concerning. And it looks like that Caleb Williams might be under duress all season. I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking about Danielle Hunter, I'm thinking about Will Anderson, and I'm thinking about this front, the way this front was able to get to the running game last week, and able to stop the running game last week, and able to get to AR last week. Obviously, AR is a harder person to tackle than Caleb Williams is. I feel like that they're going to be able to get to Caleb Williams in that offensive line. I don't think DeAndre Swift is going to have any running room. And we showed last year that we were a top 10 defense against the run. We showed that last year. The only real game that we gashed was the last game against the Colts, where JT did have over 100 yards in that game. JT had like 130 yards in the last game against the season last year at Indianapolis. Outside of that, we were able to stop the run pretty much all season long. So I have no problem thinking that we're going to be able, because I think their offensive line is a huge issue and a huge concern when it comes to the Chicago Bears. And I think that's kind of the reason why DeAndre Swift wasn't able to get them and then only ran the ball 10 times as well. For DeAndre Swift, only got 10 carries. I feel like that they won't be able to run the football well against us. And they're going to be put in situations where Caleb Williams is going to have to throw 28, 29, 30, 35 times in the game. They're going to make him, they're going to actually try to throw out the football. Now, will he be able to have time back? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that our front is going to be able to get to bully. I think our front is going to be able to bully the offensive line and able to put pressure on Caleb Williams and put Caleb Williams under the rest and be able to put pressure on him and force him to make some mistakes. Because one, he bails out of the pocket way too quickly. Like he bails out of the pocket, he bails out of the pocket way too quickly. He doesn't have proper mechanic and footwork because he bails out of the pocket too. Like as soon as he feels any like heap of pressure, he's running around, he twisting, he turning, and I know we see highlight plays. Oh, Caleb Williams is spinning around and ran to the side and threw his pass. You know why he did that? Because he put his offense in a bind. Yeah, he got out of it, but he shouldn't have put his offense there. And you keep on doing that, especially unnecessarily, the defense is not going to get fooled. The opposing defense, especially if it's a defense worth their merit, worth their salt, they're going to make a play. You can't do that against a good football team. You can do that in the preseason, and you get the Tennessee Titans. You're not going to be able to do that against the Houston Texans and Daniil and Will Anderson. You're not going to be able to do that and get away with it consistently. I'm not saying that he might not get a playoff. I'm not saying he might not get a big bomb or something. We see AR get last week. He got 3 of them things. So I wouldn't be surprised if he got a big playoff somewhere in the junction of the game. That would not surprise me at all. It's not going to happen a lot, and it's not going to happen often. And don't get comfortable with it because it will put you in more mistakes. I could definitely see or Lassiter, especially can't think Kalen Bullock, because they say Kalen Bullock's gonna get some more snaps. I think he played like 58% of the snaps last week, so he's probably gonna get that bumped up to probably in the 80 range because the way he played last week, he got an interception, and if it wasn't for Toto's breaking up a pass deflection in the end zone, another interception. And really, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the drive where Chicago got that last touchdown, where AR got that running touchdown, that last running touchdown. So Kalen Bullock would have ended the game with that pick if Todos wasn't able to bat the football. And again, he was making the play himself, didn't realize that Kalen Bullock was back there, and Kalen Bullock has eyes on the football and was right there about to make a play and bailing in the game. He didn't know that, so I don't fault him for that. I mean, football be flying around so fast, you don't really know what everybody back there doing. You trying to make sure that you don't mess up, because if you did swipe it and whoever's back there, whoever the target back there was able to catch it, boom, you gonna feel like crap. And they're going to be talking you on film. So at least you made a play to come up on film, but you did possibly cost your teammate an interception. But it is what it is. But I do think this defense will have a lot of opportunities, and a lot of opportunities will present themselves. I do think that this front is going to put Caleb Williams, and also Caleb Williams himself is going to put himself in a bad, sticky situations where the ball's super quick, and it's going to be errant throws, untargeted throws, not good, not able to set his feet, able to throw the football, and be able to make some mistakes. And I do think people like Stingley and Caleb are going to be able to have their opportunities to make plays. We've seen both of them. We've seen Stingley do it all last year, and we've seen Kalen Bullock in a small sample size, and even for that matter, even Jalen Petrie. Even though I think Jalen Petrie been giving up a lot of big for the last year and a half or whatever, but we seen rookie year Jalen Petrie make plays on the football. He had 5 interceptions, and he really probably could have had 10 because he dropped another 5 or 6. So we know that guys have an opportunity able to make plays on the football, and I do think that this defense would be able to bully this offense and put a lot of pressure on Caleb Williams and allow Caleb Williams to make some mistakes. I think that Caleb Williams is going to make some mistakes. And I think Caleb Williams himself is going to put himself in bad positions and peculiar spots, make some bad decisions as well, and also make some mistakes. So I see him making some mistakes because of the way our defense played, and then also himself. I want to look at some of the injury report. Nico had an illness, didn't practice the day before, full practice today. I know we had questions about Dalton Schultz. Those were the full practice today. But DP and Juice, both of them did not practice. Juice is dealing with a groin, and DP is a hamstring issue. Uh, and DP actually played well last week. DP had carries for 19 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry. DP, I think like 5.3 yards a carry. DP played pretty well when he got his opportunity last week. He looked better last week than he did at any point of the preseason this week, this past year. Because the preseason he didn't look good at all. The preseason he did not look good at all. So just in them 3 carries on Sunday as the backup running back, he was able to make way more plays than he made any time in this preseason, but did not practice. He's questionable, and Juice Scruggs is questionable. It looks like both Nico and Dalton Schultz are both going to play. I mean, Akers, which I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't really all that surprised that Cam wasn't active. It didn't surprise me. Because I'm not surprised that Cam is not the running back. I feel like Cam should be the second running back on the team, but it doesn't surprise me that he's not. Because like I said, like I've been saying for the last month. Shout out to everybody in the Discord. People know me in the Discord. I've been saying this for the last month. The people out there in the Twitter spaces as well, because I've been saying it in the Twitter spaces as well when I've jumped on, that I feel like the Texans really like DP. He was going to make the team. I think that Cam is the second best running back on this team. He's the second running back on this team. But I feel like they really like DP, and they're going to give DP a lot of opportunities. So I'm not surprised that DP, and I'm not even trying to say, because DP, I think he played well when he got his opportunity last week. Cam wasn't the number 2 running back. But if DP doesn't play and is out with whatever a hamstring issue he's dealing with, I think that's actually a plus for the Texans, and that puts the another peculiar situation, because now that's going to mean that more than likely Cam Akers is going to be active, and if Cam Akers is active, now that's an extremely good 1-2 punch between Joe Mixon and Cam Akers, because I don't think Joe Mixon is getting 30 carries. And I've heard people talk about, Joe Mixon getting 30 carries. Is that something that y'all can able to obtain for a whole season? Like, no. He's not going to get 30 carries a game. The game and the situation, it's called situational football. The situation dictated for us to give the football to Joe Mixon times, because he was gashing them with the run. 13 yards, 14 yards, 15. He was gashing them with the run. Every time he was just continually playing bully ball. Linebackers over, carrying guys for an extra 2 or 3 yards. They weren't able to stop. The ground was slippery. They didn't want to put, like I said, the ground was slippery. They didn't want to put CJ and the receivers in compromising positions, to the fact that they might slip and the ball come out funny. That's a cheap fumble, a cheap interception, anything like that. They didn't want to do that. Once they realized what type of time they was on, what type of time this game was going to be on, and stuff like that, they gave the football, turn around, and the football to Joe Mixon, and we're going to run up out of here. That's what we're going to do, and that's what we did. That's not going to be the game. There's going to be times when Joe Mixon only has 10 to 15 carries in the game, and CJ's throwing 45, 50 times. Those games out there. We're going to get games where CJ's throwing 40 to 50, 45 to 50 times a game, throwing 400 to 500 yards, and everybody, Nico and Tank and Diggs and Schultz, got 100-yard type situations. We're going to have those type of games, but also we're going to have games like what we just seen. And I said that earlier. See, that's one of the reasons why I didn't think that they was going to throw for like do nothing crazy, throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns, because we got Joe Mixon. When Patrick Mahomes threw that, Patrick Mahomes ain't had no running back, because Kareem Hunt got kicked off the team halfway through the year because of the whole elevator incident. And another time, he has Pacheco as his running back. Other than that, he has not had any running back. So when he's been throwing for all those yards, it's because they had a run game. They had no choice. Just like the year that Matt Schaub led the league in passing back in 2009, that was actually under the Kubiak era, the only time the Texans didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher. Since when the whole time Kubiak was the head coach, every year we've had a 1,000-yard rusher. The only time was that 2009 season that the Texans didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher, because they couldn't have a running game, and they found Arian Foster late the last like 3 games of the season. Didn't have a they didn't have a running game. And Matt Schaub led the league in passing. And the same thing with Deshaun. The year Deshaun led the league in passing, the Texans also did not have a running game. So a lot of times when people lead the league in passing, for the most part, I know I know Miami had a decent run game last year, but for the most part, when people lead the league and pass, they don't have a run game. They don't have a consistent run game because I feel like Joe Mixon's going to be. I think he's going to be a 1,200, maybe 1,300 yard rusher. That's going to take away from some of CJ's passing stats, and that's why I don't think that CJ is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if CJ doesn't lead the league in passing because we're going to be able to football. Just like I don't feel like Joe Mixon can lead the league in rushing because we're going to be able to throw the football as well. There's not going to be a Derrick Henry situation where you need him to lead the league in football, lead the league in rushing because we're able to throw the football as well. It's going to be a very cohesive unit and they're going to piggyback off of each other. The run's going to be able to set up the pass. The pass is going to be able to set up the run. 2000, yeah, in 2008, Steve Slayton rushed for 1,000 yards, and then he rushed for 1,000 yards in 2009. Like in 2009, we had a combination of Steve Slayton. We also had what's his name, Ryan Moats. Uh, Arian Foster came in like the last. I know the last two games he started because he started against Miami. He started against the Patriots. Those were the last two games of the season. And I think he played because he was on the practice squad to start the season off. He started off the season on the practice squad, and then he like played. He played. I'm trying to think. Did he play in that? I think he played in that Rams game too. I think he played the last four games of the season. Started the last two. I know for a fact he started against Miami. He started against the Patriots, and that's really when we found out. Okay, maybe we might have something there, but it wasn't confident still because they drafted Ben Tate in the second round in the draft. We drafted Jackson in the first round. We drafted Ben Tate in the second round, and Ben Tate got hurt in the preseason, and Arian Foster just completely took over. And then we all know what happened week one against the 2010. The Texans rushing record is still here. Because in that season, was named Ron Moats had Ron Moats has the record for the most rushing touchdowns in the game. Ron Moats had 4 rushing touchdowns against the Buffalo Bills in 2009. But we did a consistent running game because we couldn't run the football consistently. And the reason why, but the reason what happened with Ben Tate, not Ben Tate, but Steve Slayton. Steve Slayton had a huge case of the fumbles. Steve Slayton, I remember one game, Steve Slayton had broke a long run, and when nobody biting, the ball just popped out his hand. And I knew then, I'm like, oh, I said, it's a wrap. It's in his head. He can't control the football because at that point he was already having issues already at that point. And then that game, he's just running and running and running, just blew the ball pops out his hand. And no, what you call it played that season too, if I'm not mistaken. I think Chris Brown. They used to play for the Titans. We had signed Chris Brown. I think that was the season Brown played for the Texans too. So yeah, you had a combination of Steve Slayton, Chris Brown, like I say, Ryan Moats, and say Arian Foster came on at the end of the season, and that's when you finally found something. Again, for the majority of that season, you didn't have a consistent running game. You were trying to piece something together, and that's the only time under Gary Kubiak as a Houston Texan that we did not have a 1,000-yard rusher was 2009. And we had to lead the league in pass. We had to lean on Matt Schaub and Andre Johnson to go out there and throw and catch the football around and go to the tune of Matt Schaub getting 4 I think he had 4,770 yards. I think 29 touchdowns. I don't know how many interceptions. Somebody check that for me. Because I think I'm right. I think Matt Schaub in 2009, 4,770 yards and 29 touchdowns, I believe. I don't know how many interceptions. I'm not even gonna guess how many interceptions. I don't have a slight idea how many interceptions he had. But I think I'm right about the touchdowns though. Like I'm pretty sure I'm right that was the touchdowns and the yards. And I know he went to the Pro Bowl and was the Pro Bowl MVP in 2009. So I'm pretty sure. So I mean, if anybody has the free time, please tell me and let me know if I'm right. But I'm pretty sure I am. But I'm saying though, Cam Akers is going to be able to come out there and spell because again, you seen last week that Joe Mixon doesn't come out the game anyway. So I mean, really, your second running back they kind of very null and void because Joe Mixon barely comes out of the game. Joe Mixon stays in pretty much the whole entirety of the game. So because of that, but I do think that Cam Akers will come in and be able to make some plays and. I know going into the season, when I did my prediction last week, when I did the rundown of the whole entire season, I think I did say, I don't know if I gave a score prediction. I know I gave a score prediction for the Colts game, but I didn't give a score. I know I didn't give a score prediction for the Red games, but I might have said something about Chicago because I did initially think that this was going to be uh, 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 um, I did initially think 4,000. I knew it 4,770. I knew it. He had 50 picks. Okay, so I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know at all what the interception was, bro. I didn't know what. But I knew them yards. Like I said, 20. I'm pretty sure too. But I went into this situation thinking, okay, it's gonna be a closer game than what people think, and I'm like, it's gonna be probably like a back and forth game, Sunday Night Football, and the Texans will probably win. I said like, I think I had the Texans winning 27-24, with the Texans winning the game, like throwing the game winning touchdown. No, I think 28. I think yeah, 28 to 24 with the Texans scoring the game winning touchdown with Stephon Diggs. That's not what I think. I actually think because of the way this defense is and the way what I seen last week out of Caleb Williams, that I do think that he's like ready. Think wide eye and bushy tail. More than likely, Keenan Allen might not be playing. I think Roman Doomsday did practice. Keenan Allen did not practice. Roman Doomsday, I think, did practice this week. I know they were going back and forth about these guys not practicing. I think that I think the Texans beat the Bears. Uh, I think the Texans go in there Sunday night football, home opener, Liberty White. I think the Texans go in there and handle business, and I think the Texans go in there and handle business. 34-17. 34-17. I think go in there and handle business 34-17. Yeah, I think they handle the business 34-17. And to be honest, I don't think it's actually even like as close as that indicates. I think probably like I think it's probably like 31 to like 10 deep in the fourth quarter. And they get like a little bull touchdown, like with some men of the Texans who happen to be in field goal range and they kick a field goal. I think something to that effect. Maybe even 30. It might even be 34. It might even be 34-17. I mean 34-10, and they get the last touchdown comes towards the end when the game is already out of reach. I think it's going to be a very. I think this is going to be. I think from a yardage standpoint, no, nah, not even from yard standpoint. I think this is gonna be. I think this is gonna be Tank Dale's. This is gonna be Tank Dale's game. Cause I was about to say probably Diggs. I think this is gonna be Tank Dale's game. I think this is gonna be the game where Tank Dale gets multiple touchdowns. I think this is gonna be the game where Tank Dale gets multiple touchdowns. I think we score 4 touchdowns. I think we score 4 touchdowns in the game. I think it's gonna be a game where CJ gets CJ's 4 touchdowns. He throws two to Dale, one to Collins, and one to Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon gets a receiving touchdown in this game. So I think that's what's gonna happen. I think CJ throws 4 touchdowns in the game, one to Collins, two to Dale, and one to two to Tank, and one to Joe Mixon, and the Texans win 34-17. Caleb Williams gets his first ever career touchdown, a pass touchdown, but he also, I think Caleb Williams turns over 3 times. I think he throws 2 interceptions and he fumbles once. So I think he throws an interception to Stingley. I think he throws an interception to I think he throws an interception. He throws an interception to Lassiter. We're not gonna Lassiter Bullock. I think Bullock's another interception. And I also think that Will gets a strip sack, and that's what's gonna happen in the game because I feel like they're gonna be able to get to. I feel like they're gonna be able to get to Caleb Williams. I think, like I said, Caleb Williams turns the football over three times, two interceptions, one fumble. And I also think that Caleb Williams also gets sacked like three or four. We're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on him. I mean, CJ got sacked 4 times last week against the Colts. I do think the field has something to do with that as well, the slippage, and taking people out of the game. I do think that one, we won't have this situation. I think that both Hunter and Will gonna maybe we go headhunting, and then I do think the Texans jump out early. I think the Texans jump out to a 14-0 lead like that, like the first 2 possessions, 14-0. And I think that makes Williams and the Bears offense start to press. And that means Will and Daniil pin their ears back and go straight for the QB. Ain't this Tank first prime? Yes, it is. It is. Tank was not there week 18 against the Colts. Tank was not there in the playoffs against the Browns. So this is the first time. I'm glad you brought. This is the first time that Tank is on the national stage, because before that, the game that was put for a huge audience, like before that last year, they had moved our Bronco game from a 3 o'clock game to a 12 o'clock game. It wasn't a primetime game, but it wasn't actually a televised game. It just put you in a bigger market that more of the general United States was able to see said game. Didn't mean that everybody. National means everybody's able to see it. It wasn't that everybody was able to see it. National means everybody can see it. It wasn't that everybody able to see it. It was that majority of the United States was able to see it. And that was the Broncos game. That was also the game where Tank got hurt in the first quarter. That was also the game. It was also the game where when Nico almost had 200 yards. Like Nico had like 100 yards half. I think he had like 191 in that game. And then obviously the nationally televised game against the Colts on Saturday Night Football, he had 195, 197, one or two, 195, 197, something like that. So has turned up twice on a huge viewership against the Broncos and a nationally televised game against the Colts last year. Nico's turned up twice. The majority of the NFL, majority of the NFL fans, majority of the country have not yet seen Tank Dell on they have not yet seen Tank Dell on the national level. They have not yet seen Tank Dell on a huge scene. They gonna see something. And that's why I think it's going to be a Tank Dell game. At first, I thought it was going to be, I actually thought it was going to be Tank Dell's game as far as like yardage, but I thought it was going to be Stefan's, like I thought it was going to be the game that Stefan Diggs got the game-winning touchdown. I scrapped that because I think it's going to even come to a situation where Tank Dell needs to score a game-winning touchdown. I believe that, that Stefan Diggs will have to score a game-winning touchdown. I don't believe it's going to get that far. I don't believe it's going to get that good. It's going to be, boom, first drive, CJ, Tank, boom, touchdown. The second drive, I think CJ and Tank gonna be clowning on the second drive, but Joe Mixon gets the touchdown. Joe Mixon gets a touchdown. Then, like I said, then the Bears come pressing, boom, boom, boom. Then I think you're gonna see a play when CJ throws up, and you're gonna see Tank turn up. Tank gonna catch a football out. He gonna back on the 30, hit a little spin, little juke move, boom, 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 and turn it kind of like the touchdown he had against the Steelers. We gonna see him act a monkey. We gonna see him go out there and clown, act a monkey. They gonna be like, dang! That Nico gonna be able to play bully ball like a power forward, boom, and just plug a rebound out the air and score a touchdown like that. I think that's how Nico get his. But I feel like that's gonna happen. I think Tank gonna get that first touchdown, and then also gonna get another touchdown later on in the game where he kind of sauce somebody up real quick and show that feet work, show how good of a route technician that he is. And you know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be able to put a little stud step on somebody and hey, do the Chicago Bears bad. And I feel like yes, after Sunday's they're gonna be like, we've been hearing about Tank Dell. That boy bad. What's God saying? What's God saying? What's the name of the movie? Coming to America. That boy good. That boy like that's what they gonna be saying after watching Tank Dell on Sunday. Anyway, that boy good. That boy good. That boy good. That's what they're gonna be saying after him on Sunday. Yeah, I feel like that's what's gonna be the case. I feel like that is what's gonna. I think that's what's gonna happen. Now, I do want to take a look at rest of week 2. I want to look at some matchups for the rest of week 2. So, um, you have Dallas hosting the Saints. You got the Detroit Lions hosting Tampa Bay. You got Green Bay hosting Colts. You have the Titans hosting the Jets. You have Minnesota hosting the 49ers. You got the Patriots hosting the Seahawks. You got Washington Giants. You got the Chargers hosting the Panthers. You got the Jags hosting Cleveland. You got Baltimore hosting Vegas. Now, those are the noon o'clock games, and then you had Arizona hosting the Rams. You got Denver hosting Pittsburgh. You got KC hosting Cincinnati, and you got Philadelphia hosting Atlanta. That's Monday night. Then obviously because remember we not playing on noon, so you be able to watch some. We could sit back. This is one of the weeks like when you have night games or Monday night game or a bye week. You can sit back and watch the rest of the NFL without feeling some type of way. Like, because like if your team lose, if you play at the noon o'clock hour and your team lose, you're not trying to watch the rest. You mad, you upset. Now, if your team win, you ready. Same thing on Thursday night. Like if your team win on Thursday, you cool watching the rest of the NFL. If your team lose, who knows? You might be in your feelings, you might be a little upset. You ain't worried about the rest of the NFL. But Sunday night, Monday night, bye weeks, your team ain't played yet while all the rest of these games going on. So you still in football mode. It's kind of like on the Saturday on college football, you can watch. So this is what I think is going to happen. So like I said, Dallas hosts New Orleans Saints. I know New Orleans blew out the Carolina Panthers, but that was the Carolina Panthers. I think Dallas wins. Because we actually didn't, like Dak and CD and them really didn't just have, I mean, even though they were able to put a good win against the Cleveland Browns, they didn't really do, like offensively. They didn't really go out there and just dominate offensively like they looked last year. Like you didn't see both those guys who just got their contracts really play like they contracts. I mean, they did enough to win the game. I'm not trying to take them away from that. Just an extremely good game. Oh man, they were the highest paid quarterback with like the third highest paid receiver or whatever CeeDee Lamb is. So I think Dallas does come out with the win, defeat the New Orleans. Tampa Bay versus goes to Detroit. Tampa Bay is a really good team, and this is a rematch from last year's playoff game. I think Detroit's the best team in the NFC. I do think they're the best team in the NFC. Detroit comes away with the win. Green Bay hosts Indy. Likely Malik Willis is the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. So I think the Colts are going to win. The Colts got an easy, cheap win. Luckily, they don't have to go against the Packers and Jordan Love. And again, like I said, the Packers originally will be my Super Bowl pick up until the Jordan Love. Luckily, I did my prediction because I was supposed to do it before the last week's football game, but I didn't get a chance to do it. So I ended up doing it last week in the live. I know, and it was after the game, so I had the luxury of already seeing not only Green Bay lose to lose to the Eagles, also Jordan Love be out for however much time he is. Actually, I think he's out for 4 weeks or longer than that. They already lost the game, and they got to be dealing with Malik Willis as their starting quarterback. He would have to 2-2 just for the Packers that I feel like they even have a shot. If Jordan Love come back in week 5, Jordan Love come back in would come back in week 6. If he would miss, he played week 1, he misses 4 games. He had to come back in week 6. Yeah, he would need them to go 2-2 just for them, and that only makes them. That still makes them 2-3. Still makes them under 500 just for them to have a shot to make the playoffs. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they'll probably go 1-3, but I could definitely see them going 0-4. So in that stretch, and that's if he only misses 4 games. He might even miss more than that. But I think the Green Bay Packers lose to the Indianapolis Colts, Tennessee and the Jets. I think the Tennessee owes the Jets. I feel like the Jets will bounce and win. I heard people say that Aaron Rodgers. I've heard misconceptions. I didn't really watch the game Monday. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was driving. I was on the road. I didn't get a chance to watch the game. Okay. I've heard say that Aaron Rodgers played horrible and he was washed. And then I heard like analysts say that Aaron Rodgers looked okay, looked good. That he didn't look like MVP Aaron Rodgers, but he looked like a good enough Aaron Rodgers to win games with. And I'm like, okay, are we grading him on a curve because he's like 40 years old coming off of Achilles? Because I don't really know. Because I didn't watch the game and I didn't watch the highlights because I seen the score and I'm like, okay, I don't need to watch the highlights. I don't watch the highlights. But I do think that they have enough to beat the Tennessee, because I think Tennessee has maybe not the worst quarterback in the league, because you got Malik Willis out there right now. One of the worst quarterbacks in the league. And to be honest, he's not that much better than Malik Willis. Like, he ain't that much better than Malik Willis. He might be better than Malik Willis, but he ain't that much better than Malik Willis. And we'll leave it. So I think the Jets will defeat the Titans in Tennessee. Minnesota versus San Francisco. San Francisco, I think, is the second best team in the NFC. I think San Francisco beats Minnesota. The Patriots host Seattle. I think Seattle is able to get the win. I know the Patriots got a surprising underdog win against the Cincinnati Bengals. They caught the Bengals off in Cincinnati, hosting Seattle. I think Seattle's able to go out there and get the win. Washington hosts the Giants. I think this is another quarterback situation that's probably one of the worst quarterback situations in the league, and Daniel Jones. I think Washington defeats the Giants. The Chargers host the Carolina Panthers. Again, this might be the worst quarterback situation in the league. When you watch the Panthers, there's nothing about the Panthers offensively that you can remotely get excited about. Nothing offensively can get you out this team. And I think the Los Angeles Chargers are going to go out there and be able to handle the Carolina Panthers, who probably have the worst quarterback situation in the league, and more than likely will put themselves in position to pick in the draft. I would not be surprised in the slightest that the Carolinas have the number one pick in the draft. But I have the Chargers beating the Carolina Panthers. Jacksonville versus Cleveland. Another bad quarterback situation out there in Cleveland, Ohio. Another bad quarterback situation, because how bad does he look is just very, very. Now I don't want to say just. No one would ever thought. I would have never thought that. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100, all the way 1,000. I would have never ever thought that Defoe would ever look this bad. I don't think he's good at football. I don't. I think he's good at football. I said this last year. I don't think he's good at football. I know he had that little game at the half against the Ravens the last time he played, and everybody, oh, he played perfect in the half. And hey, every dog have his day. I did not think last year that he was going to be a good quarterback ever again. I don't think he's a good quarterback anymore. But Cleveland does have a good enough roster. I think Cleveland's able to beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville. The Ravens host the Las Vegas Raiders. I think Baltimore beats the Las Vegas Raiders in Baltimore. The Arizona Cardinals host the LA Rams. This pick of the week. I think Arizona beats the Rams. I think Arizona. I think Arizona beats the Rams. I think that's the case. I think Arizona, they're at home. I think Arizona goes beat the Los Angeles Rams at home and beat the Rams. That's one of my upsets of the week. It's one of my upsets. Denver hosts Pittsburgh. I don't think Denver has a good quarterback, a good coach, a good roster outside of Patrick Surtain. I don't think they have a good. I don't think they have any. I don't think they have anything good outside of and my boy Cortland, because Cortland from shout out to everybody, Brim, Texas. You already know what it is. Brim, Texas 389. Everybody know what it is. Shout out to my boy Cortland, who's from Brenham, my hometown. If y'all Brim, Texas, you know what I'm saying. Cortland out of the situation. I feel bad for Cortland because that roster outside of Patrick not good, and I think Cortland is a former Pro Bowl receiver. I think Cortland with a better quarterback situation, Cortland can be way better than he could be than he actually is. dealing with what he's dealing with. So I do think that Cortland's a good player. So outside of Cortland and outside of both Cortland and Patrick Surtain, I don't think that's a good roster, and I don't think they have a good head coach. So I think Pittsburgh defeats Denver, and I think Justin Fields get his second quarterback because I think Justin Fields will be starting. And again, I think Pittsburgh has a good roster. I think they have an excellent coach in Mike Tomlin, and I think they're going to get a lot out. And I'm actually rooting for Justin Fields as well. God, I do think that Justin Fields is a bad situation, and even though Caleb Williams got weapons, I'm not too sure that Caleb Williams' offensive line is any better. And I said this last year when the whole thing about, hey, what should the Bears do with the number one pick? And I actually was of the mindset that Chicago should trade that number one overall pick and get even more picks and get even more assets, because I didn't want them to thrust the other body in that same situation that you put Justin Fields in, because you're going to get the same result. Is Caleb Williams that much better than Justin Fields? Hey, he very well could be that much better that he's able to elevate everything around and be able to, but I just feel like I think you're going to be chasing after bad money and put a quarterback in a similar position, and it's not going to bode well. Now, they did go out there, they went out and got Keenan Allen, they went out there and got Roma Dunze, and it looks like they were possibly, but it looks like the offensive line, from what I've seen, ain't no better. And you might, from an offensive line issue, still have him in the same play. Going off on a tangent, I do think that Mike Tomlin and Justin Fields and the Steelers get it done against the Denver Broncos. KC hosts Cincinnati Bengals, who just came off an upset loss against the. I think the Bengals go inside Kansas City and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Bengals win against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Bengals. I just have a feeling. I actually don't have any like X's and O's reason. Oh, I think because Joe Burrow is not going to lose 2 games in a row, and Jamar Chase is trying to show he paid, and same thing with T. It ain't none of that. It's none of that. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I just got a feeling that the Cincinnati Bengals are gonna go inside Kansas City and beat the Chiefs. I just got a feeling. I could be extremely wrong. I just got that they're gonna go inside Kansas City and win. Monday Night Football. The Philadelphia Eagles host the Atlanta Falcons. Philadelphia wins, and you're going to start hearing Falcon fans clamoring for Michael Penix Jr. to come out there and play immediately. So, like I said, I think Dallas beats New Orleans, Detroit beats Tampa Bay, Green Bay, the Jets beat the Titans, San Francisco beats Minnesota, Seattle beats New England, Washington beats the Giants, the Chargers beat the Panthers, the Cleveland Browns beat the Jags, the Baltimore Ravens beat the Las Vegas Raiders, Cardinals beat the LA Rams, the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Denver Broncos, the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Atlanta Falcons. And I've already told y'all I feel like the Houston Texans will go out this football and defeat the Bears. Like what I said earlier, I said 34 to 17, with CJ throwing 4 touchdowns, 2 to Tank, one to Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon gets another 100-yard game on the ground, like probably like 10. Like it's not gonna be 159 because he's not gonna get nowhere near 30 carries. And that's another thing too. The Chicago Bears actually got gashed in the run. I forgot. Like the Chicago Bears actually got gashed in the run against Tennessee. I mean, Bernard Parler had like a 61-yard touchdown. Like they gave up gap, even though their defense played well and tightened up towards the end. Play on words, I went. The defense tightened up at the end, and was able to get some turnovers and some stops. And again, they gave Caleb Williams extra opportunity there, and Caleb Williams wasn't able to capitalize on it. They was able to capitalize on the Titans' mistakes, who again, they just make bad decisions and they just don't have good quarterback play. So that's not going to be the case with CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. They're not going to put themselves. Is extremely careful with the football. Like that pick, that almost a pick, the one like not the one that got called back for a callback off of pass interference. That was the flag was thrown. CJ was had free play, and also the interception only occurred because he passing the other more actually passing interference himself also to get to the interception. So that interception would not happen without pass interference. One that was earlier on, the one where he was trying to throw and get rid of the football, throw the football out of bounds, that was an uncharacteristic mistake of CJ Stroud. And I believe after seeing it, he's not going to do it again. No time soon. He went with like how many weeks without throwing an interception? Like 7 weeks without throwing an interception. And then once he threw an interception, it took a while for him to throw another one. Then he had the game where he threw 3 interceptions and never threw any more interceptions this season. So, like, once he sees that on film, and you go back, and again, I've told y'all this before, way back when, before you even drafted CJ, there was going to be times. It's time where CJ has games or moments where when he was at Ohio State, he would throw a pick six, turn around, throw 4-5 touchdowns. Have a bad half, come back the second half. Have a bad game, go out there and play monster the next game. And seen it last year, the game against the Panthers. You know what game came after the Panthers game? You know what game came after the Panthers game? The Tampa Bay game. We 470 yards and with 4 touchdowns and the game-winning touchdowns. That happened right after the Panther game, which was probably the worst game. Then the Jets game, he ended up getting hurt in the Jets game. He do after the Jets game, completely carved up and made the team say no mas. And then that Saturday night game, go out there and dominate the Indianapolis Colts. And then on the playoff game against the Cleveland Browns, basically, if it wasn't for the defense going out there, get 2 interceptions for a touchdown, he would have shredded the Cleveland Browns defense. The Cleveland Browns defense is actually lucky and fortunate that Joe Flacco threw 2 pick sixes, because if they didn't see CJ there, and boy, we talking about we might have some new playoff records in the NFL, because CJ was on one. CJ was on one. Oh, he about to make a name for himself. He about to absolutely make a name for himself. So he went out there. Again, that was an uncharacteristic mistake when he tried to throw to the sideline. Didn't make it all the way, and the DB came in, I think it was, able to make a play on the ball. Luckily for us, his foot stepped out of bounds, so it wasn't called a catch, it wasn't called interception. Still, he watched it on film, and he's going to learn from that mistake. So I don't expect him to make any type of mistake like that against the Chicago Bears. He's not going to do what Will Levis did, get sacked and just fling the football to somebody, end up being a pick six. He's not going to do that. He's not going to give the Chicago Bears easy access or easy cheap plays. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. He's not going to give them easy access and cheap plays. This is not what CJ is going to do. He's not going to do that at all. He's not going to give them easy access. He's not going to give them cheap plays. He's just not. That's just not his MO. That's not what he's going to do. He's just not going to do that. So, because of that, I don't see the Chicago Bears really just doing something really to keep them in the game like that. And again, we're going to be able to run the football because they're going to be looking at the run. Like, I do think that what's going to happen, because they know the weapons. So they're we're going to ready to stop CJ, boom, 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 boom. And then we're going to turn around. We're going to hand the football to Joe Mixon. We're going to be. And like I said, don't let Cam Akers be active. Like, DP being hurt and might not play is a bad thing for the Chicago Bears, because don't let Cam as well. So you turn around, boom, Cam, Mixon, Cam, Mixon, Cam, Mixon. Don't let that be the case, because then what does the defense do? Then now they got to come up and start playing the run. Because either they're going to be playing soft, because they keep it soft, cool. Keep playing soft, keep playing back. You're going to get another 159, 150, 170, 180, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns up on you if you do that. But what's going to end up happening is they're going to play up. They're going to start come up to the line of scrimmage, start playing up, and that's going to open up the pass. And now they're gonna be able to open up the pass. You're gonna see Tank Dell and Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs and Dalton Schultz and both Joe Mixon and Cam Akers themselves catching up, because both of them are catching receiving threats out of the backfield, able to go out there making plays for this offense and for the Houston Texans. And when they start doing that, when doing stuff like that, then it's going to be a real tough problem for that defense. It's really going to be some real pressure, like I said, now that puts the offense in a compromising position. Now, Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson, pin their ears back and go headhunting for Caleb Williams. And I told y'all earlier what Caleb does. He doesn't trust his feet. He doesn't trust his mechanics because his mechanics are not that good. Because I think he's an ultra talented kid. Ultra talented, has all the talent in the world. And a lot of times, especially when you step on the field in high school and college, you always like the best player on the field, the best athlete on the field, especially at a quarterback position. Coaches, especially like high school, because they just trying to get wins. They don't care about nothing else. They just trying to get wins. By actually teaching kids and teaching people actually how to be better on the next level, how to be better football players. They just want to win. So you just more athletic, talented, better than everybody else. They just let you go out there and just do it. And you pick up bad habits because you don't learn out of bailing out of the pocket early and not setting your feet and trusting your mechanics, or actually learning your mechanics and doing them properly. And what happens is, ultra talented, you doing all these different type of things, boom, you get scholarships. And you start on that level, and they're doing pretty much the same thing. Especially when you're winning, when the Heismans get to the college playoffs, things of that nature. Now you get on this level when you're no longer the best athlete on the field. So you're the best athlete on the field when you was in high school. And you was the best athlete on the field for the majority of the time when you was in college. When you get to the NFL, you are no longer the best athlete on the field. It's no longer the case. Everybody's here with you. We all here. We all at our point in time, probably the best athlete in our high school too. We were probably the best athlete on the field every time we played too. So everybody's in the same situation. So now you have to learn, and now you gotta trust what you're doing, trust what you're seeing. You can't start seeing ghosts and dancing around the pocket and bailing out of the pocket, leaving the pocket early when there's no pressure there. Start hearing footsteps. Start seeing ghosts. You can't do that like a punch drunk fighter. You can't do that. That's gonna get you in more trouble. All them spins that he be doing, that's gonna get you in more trouble. With this front, with this pass rush that this guy, with Will and Danielle coming off the edges, that's gonna get you in way more trouble than it helps you. It's not going to help you. It's going to put you in more trouble and put you in more compromising when you do things of that nature. That's not good. And especially on the opposite side of the field, when you got an offense that got C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Dalton Schultz, Joe Mixon, and so Cam Akers going to be the backup running back that way too. They're putting up too many. Now you're pressing. Now you're trying to, I gotta compete. Now you're doing too much. You're doing way too much. And you're putting yourself in bad positions. You're putting yourself in compromising positions, and you're doing too much. And you're actually being a detriment to your team instead of benefit of your team. And I feel like that's what's going to be the situation that Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears find themselves in come Sunday Night Football. And again, it's going to be rocking. Hey, H-Town, listen. Everybody's going to the game. Listen, man. Hey, we needed rocking. Like how it was rocking during the playoffs. Hey, shout out to my boy Big B, because he said he went to the game. He said it was so loud you couldn't hear nothing in there. He said they was yelling and screaming so much. He said he down because he almost got lightheaded. How much yelling and screaming they was doing. They basically, one of the false starts that Cleveland had, the y'all calls, because of how y'all had it rocking. I need y'all to have that ready. So I've heard all the chatter, and I'm in complete agreements. Where everybody's saying, hey man, show up. It's a night game. You ain't got no excuse. At 7 o'clock kickoff, forget that. 6:30. Everybody needs to be in seat ready for the game. Because I know firsthand. I went to the season home opener last year. I went to the Jazz game and I went to the Titans game. And all three had the exact worst one was the first one, which was probably was the home opener against the Colts. That it took forever for the fans to get there. Like I sat there, I'm like, ain't nobody here. What? But I think the one that made me most mad, I think the one I was the most agitated was the Jags one. Because at that time the Texans were known to be a good team. That's after the Tampa Bay game, that's after the Pittsburgh game, it's after the Tampa Bay game. It was after the Cincinnati Bengals game. Thanksgiving weekend. Because it was the game after Thanksgiving. Thursday, this game was that Sunday. Division game against the Jags, who you've already beaten, by the way. And if you win this game, you would have swept them in complete control of the division. Now again, the Texans end up winning the division anyway. But I would have thought that Texans fans would have been at the game and would have showed up early and been ready to have it loud and rocking. And we wasn't there. And that was disappointing. Jacksonville ended up winning, and you heard Jacksonville fans talk, as we walking down the stage, Duval, Duval. Like you heard it. You heard it. And we weren't able to win the game, obviously, so it didn't even matter. But we couldn't even get rid of that noise, because it was enough Jags fans to make a dent in something. It was enough Jag fans to let it be known that the Jag fans were there. Completely just Texan fans. Tennessee, the last home game, as regular season home game, was better. Still wasn't great, but it was better. It was better than the two previous games. It was. So I need y'all to show up, man. I need y'all to be there, be in your white. No, this ain't no Liberty white shirt. This is a regular white shirt. But hey, be there in your Liberty white. Get your Liberty white jerseys, your Liberty white shirts. Hey, be ready. Be all white for the Liberty whiteout. Hey, them Liberty white. That's gonna be so. I know y'all seen the field already. That field white too. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have that H. Ooh, they're gonna have that white H. Oh, that's gonna be so icy. Oh man, we need white helmets, bro. That'll be my one real issue with the jersey. I think all the jerseys is fire, all the helmets is fire. I wanted a white helmet. I love white helmets, bro. Like, I don't know. I think after thinking about it, like we got white helmets. I think so. Growing up, always, you know what I'm saying, seeing local high school team wear white helmets, and then when I played football, like I'm wearing a white helmet, so I guess I got accustomed to that. So, and you know, like level, like, and like most teams actually don't have white helmets. Teams' helmets are not white, so when you see white helmets, it just be looking so icy and crispy, and I just love to see teams with white helmets. Except like I ain't like the Jets old white helmets, and I ain't like Tennessee old white helmets either. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't like neither one of their white helmets. I ain't like neither one of their white helmets. But everybody else's white helmet I pretty much like though. Everybody else's white helmet cool. Like anytime somebody's like, Cleveland got a cold white helmet. Obviously the Chargers white helmet cold. Dallas, and I'm not talking about their throwback helmet with like that they be wearing on Thanksgiving. They got a helmet that like they silver helmet, but it's white. So it got the star and it got the outline, because they throwback helmet is just a star. There's a blank star. This is a star with an outline of the star on it too. That white helmet nasty. I ain't gonna lie. The white helmet that Denver wore last year, that was nasty. The white helmet that Cleveland last year, that was cold too. I just got like a thing with white helmets. So again, that's my real gripe, is that we didn't get a white helmet. But that ain't gonna lie, boy. We gonna be icy, so icy. Oh, I know you like it. I'm so icy, so icy. Man, it's so icy. Oh, yeah, hey, hey. So hey man, we gotta do what we gotta do, man. We gotta be out there, be ready, be loud, and be ready to go. No excuses. No excuses. So go out there, get your Trill Burger, your True Barbecue, whatever it is that you eating at the stadium. Go ahead. As soon as them stadium doors open, go up in there and be ready, man. Go up in there and be ready, man. But man, appreciate everybody that came through here for the live. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the boy Brian for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Hit that like button already. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting that like button. If you ain't hit it already, man, go hit it. Go ahead, hit it. Hit it. Make sure you're hitting that like button. If you ain't hit the like button already, dog, make sure you're hitting the like button. Man, appreciate everybody that came through here. Appreciate all the love, all the support. Everybody hit the like button. Appreciate that already. Like I said, appreciate Brian for super chat love. Definitely appreciate it. I will be going live immediately at the game. It don't matter if it's a Sunday night football game. It don't matter if it's a prime time game. It's at nighttime. After the game, your boy is going live. It's going in time in the city. Your boy is going live immediately after the game. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break down exactly what go down when it comes to the game. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down exactly what go down. We're going to talk about all the good, the bad, the ugly thing that happened in this game. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down, man. Like I said, man, appreciate everybody that came through here. Appreciate all the love, all the support. Remember, be right here. Be right here. Right here, right here, right here, right here. Be right here after the game on Sunday, Sunday Night Football, Houston, Texas versus the Chicago Bears. I got us winning 34-17. CJ threw 4 touchdowns, 2 to Tank Dell, 1 to Nico Collins, 1 to Joe Mixon. Stingley gets a pick. Kalen Bullock gets another pick. Will gets a strip sack fumble. Hey, like, subscribe if you haven't clicked that bell, get more videos. And hey, remember, come right here after the game. Live stream after the game already.